Welcome to EVOLV, where we have fearless, unfiltered, unapologetic conversation with host Chanel Spencer, author, speaker, and CEO of Maximum Evolution. Are you ready? I hope you're ready.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of EVOLV, where we have fearless, unfiltered, and unapologetic conversation, because that's just what we have to do, period. So, as you know by now, we have a special series for a project that we've been working on, the evolution effect. I'm super excited about this. I have 20 authors, including myself, discussing how we've broken patterns, overcome adversities, and stepped into our greatness, because we all have greatness within us, and it's just up to us to unlock it, right? So today I have a special guest, one of my lovely authors that I love to death, literally, and her name is also Coach Love. Isn't that crazy? Lovenia Barkley. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Peace, love, and light, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you again, Chanel Spencer. You are just a phenomenal woman, and I just appreciate that you've given us this opportunity just to share our stories and to share what Maximum Evolution represents for all of us.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. So just a little bit about Lovenia, aka Coach Love. I love that. She is from Philadelphia and regularly participates in forums focused on mental health and self-love. She is a men's self-love and mastery coach and the founder of Keepsake Motivation LLC, an organization that focuses on creating a safe space for men to be encouraged, empowered, and elevated through their journey of self-love and healing. Lovenia is also a CEO of LRE Investments, yes, LLC, a firm she launched to educate people about financial literacy and the opportunity for wealth creation through real estate investing. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Are you kidding? That's amazing.
Thank you.
I love that. I love, and I especially love the men's self-love piece, because just as a sidebar, just for men in general, they have to be the strong, quote unquote, one. They don't have the opportunity to truly to focus on their mental health or the self-love piece. So I think that's such a major thing that we need for men, so that they can understand that they can be emotional, that their mental health is important too. Like, I think that's so amazing. I think that's really great.
Thank you. It was something that just came into my heart as I've evolved myself through the healing space. Just realizing that, there's been a lot of time taken in my own life, and then of course culturally and societally, women are always afforded the opportunities to focus on self-love and healing. But the reality is that we share this physical realm with men, and they need that same attention in order for us to, create solid foundations for our families, for our communities, and then of course for the world. So I just realized that I had a special space of light and love that could really contribute to helping men, or guiding men, I like to say, in the space of self-love and mastery. So
I love that. That's so important. I love it. Love it. So let's get into your chapter. So why did you title your chapter Love is Keepsake Motivation?
Because that is the essence of everything that I believe in my heart. Like, we know what a keepsake is, right? It's something that you just hold near and dear to you. And then motivation is something that doesn't last, as they say. We have to constantly and continuously motivate ourselves. And I think when you have something that's a keepsake that you can take with you, that helps you stay on the path of being motivated to grow and to evolve and to do the hard things in life. And I think that keepsake, though, that keeps us motivated is love. But when I say love, I mean love of the self. So the conversation is about us understanding that the love that we have for ourselves is what sets the precedence for how we value ourselves, how we treat ourselves, and how we carry ourselves throughout the world. So self-love is actually that keepsake motivation that gets us through. And I really believe that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Self-love is like the most important type of love. Because I
Right.
feel like that literally unlocks the door to love coming into your life, but in the right way. From like a self-love perspective, if you don't have a high level of self-love, then you kind of start accepting things that are below standards, or certain people, you open the floodgates to having the wrong people in your life. So I think that's really great. I actually really love your title, as well as what you talk about in your chapter. So give us a little snippet about your chapter.
A little snippet. Let's see. In
What do
my
you talk about?
chapter, I talk about just what my evolution was like, being, knowing that even though I was divinely created, that in the physical space, my parents may not have been fully ready for that. Particularly, I share about, I call her the vessel of love because she brought me here physically, and that's my birth mother. She wasn't fully prepared to be a mother. But in that space, she still found the love that she was able to give, even though she had her own struggles and her own traumas that she experienced, was that she still somehow made a decision at some point to still bring me here. That's not an easy decision to make. And then having a conversation with her where she literally said, I literally tried to make sure that you weren't going to be here, but like God had some other plan because you're here. So it's like once you fully come into a space, like now I get to physically be here, and go through my own journey and live a little and try to thrive a little. I realized that, the thing that sustained me through everything wasn't always the love from other people. It was more or less the love that I ended up finding for myself. And that's why I shared those pieces about my story in the chapter, because that's what it takes. It really does take us holding ourselves in such a sacred and special place of love for us to get through. Because at the end of the day, you're with yourself all the time, in those wonderful moments and in those darkest moments. No one knows what's really happening with you except for you. That's all internal information that we have to decide, at different times if it's safe or if it's okay to share with others. But innately, we have to be able to say that I love myself so much that I'm going to continue this journey. And that's more or less what I shared in my chapter.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. And what people have to understand is like your parents and the experiences that you have with your parents can literally dictate who you become in the world. And sometimes it takes us as individuals to kind of separate the two ultimately and take ownership of our lives. And I feel like that's something that you did so effortlessly. I don't know 100% of your journey, but just in what you discuss in regards to like your mom, like you literally said that your mom suffered terribly through drug and alcohol addiction most of her life, but ironically her physical transition from here was clean and sober, a sober one, right? And
Yes.
let's get into that a little bit, but before we do that, like it because of what you experienced with your mom, that could literally have made you like angry and resentful and frustrated, and maybe you had those experiences and those feelings and those emotions, but what you put out is just so like the sweetest, most loving and nurturing and caring person I've ever met. You know what I mean? So you literally see how you have literally evolved and literally broke the pattern or the cycle that could have been in your life. You know what I mean? I think that's so beautiful. Like, and I'm so proud of you, but that's another conversation. So yeah, give us a little bit more about that.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think it's true that they say people that have endured some of the most tumultuous experiences, you just inevitably learn more of what you need, but also more of what you need to emanate into the world so that that comes back to you. So despite all of those, and yes, everything you said, I had experiences of anger. I had a long period in my life where I was struggling to forgive her. Um, because when you're a kid, your thought is just the only thing you know is that this person is not there as much as you would like for them to be, and then you just know that when they're there, they don't really totally seem like they're there. Now as an adult, we say like you're not being present in the moment, but when you're a child, you don't have that full capacity to understand why a thing is happening, and in your mind you just think, this person must not love me enough to be here, or I must have done something wrong that this person doesn't want to be here.
Right.
So it took a long time to realize um, that, her choices were not based on anything that had to do with me. And I think that's a hard thing to realize sometimes as a kid
Mhm.
and even
Mhm.
as an adult, because we want to think that who we are matters so much that it dictates how this other person is living their lives. But the reality is that it's not. Everyone is in their own cycle or newsreel that they're viewing every day of
Mhm.
their journey. And
Mhm.
for anyone that's been here any amount of time, I don't care if you're 10 or if you're 50 or if you're 100. Anytime that you spend here in this physical space, you are going to endure some sort of trauma, some sort of heartache, some sort of emotional breakdown, any of that, because nothing about our journey is meant to be perfect. But there is an opportunity, like you said, to take responsibility for who we are, what we can do, and what we can become. So, evolution is not, I say it all the time to the men, it's not gonna make you feel handsome, you're not gonna feel
Mhm.
sexy all the time, it's just, but it's required and it's necessary. But the end result, when you start out in your journey, you don't always get to dictate what the ending is going to be like, but you can imagine that, and you can just start with that in mind of what you would like to become. And that's what keeps you going, because you're thinking like, I know something can be different, I know something can be better. And for me, it was just knowing that my biggest thing my whole life was just, I just don't want to become a drug addict, because I saw how horrible it just made my mom's personality and her physical being and her emotional being. Like, that was my motivation for anything. I'm just going to make sure I don't get on drugs. I'm going to make sure I don't become an alcoholic. But in doing that, you focus so much on not becoming a negative thing that you pick up other negative things. And then suddenly you find yourself as an adult doing things that you never realized you were doing, because you were
Mhm.
only focused on those two things. Like, I'm not
Right.
an alcoholic, I'm not a drug addict, so I'm doing good. But that
Right.
doesn't mean there's not other areas of life that I needed to work on.
Yeah.
So it took me evolving happened once I was able to forgive my mother for her not being able to be present. And then
Mhm.
once of course, I'm an advocate for therapy and mental health assistance. So having therapy as a child and then also going to therapy as an adult several times, you learn how to let go of things. And once I let go of, the anger and the lack of trust and the lack of understanding that I had about my mother and her situation and her life, it changed my whole perception of her. And then after that, I just became so much more understanding, so much more forgiving, and just so much more realistic about why she was the way she was and why I was able to be here and still be who I wanted to be. Did it take time? Yes, it's taken almost 40 years in my life, because I'll be 40 in like 2 months, to actually be the person that I mean, she named me Lovenia, and everyone is like, your name is Love. And I'm like, really? And I didn't always emanate that.
Right.
So what you see now, it took a lot of hard work to get here. And I'm just thankful that I love myself enough to keep going to get to this point.
Yes. And you literally said in the chapter, I must admit that therapy and allowing myself the space to heal and just be with myself changed the trajectory of my life for the better. Starting and continuing my journey of healing has totally changed how I interact with people. And that's so true. Like you literally just said that. And it's like absolutely true that you know, like there are so many different traumas and experiences and challenges that we face, and we don't necessarily realize the impact that it has on us until you start to deep dive. You're like, hold on, wait a minute. You know what I mean? And it's so important for us to do so that we can like literally move forward and release the things that we've been through. And the major word that you said was forgive. You know what I mean? So many people think, oh, I'm having somebody pay for something they did to me by holding a grudge. Actually, no, you're actually making yourself suffer 10 times more because you're holding on to something that you need to release so that you can be free. And it's not because you think that the person wasn't wrong or that the person didn't do wrong or whatever it is. It's literally for you. So that was so powerful for you to say, like, wow.
You have to kind of speak these things because, you know, God and the universe and the energy of everything is listening to you. So again, you have to be willing to just emanate exactly what you want for yourself, because, you know, karma is real and energy is real, and the cycles of what you put out into the world eventually is going to come back to you. So if your goal is that you want love, you want wealth, you want happiness, you want joy, you have to find a way to do your hard work to emanate that within, because if it's inside of you, it'll be much easier for you to emanate that in your aura out to the world. And when that happens, what you really desire, people call it the law of attraction, that comes back to you. So, you know, we get into a space when we're hurting that we just focus on the pain. And because we're so focused on the pain, we're going to continue suffering. And until we're able to let go of that, or, you know, find some peace in that, and then just realize that everything that's happened to us was necessary for our experience, for us to evolve. Because think about it, as much trauma as you may have experienced, Chanel, or that I've experienced, and everyone that's listening, you know, as much as it hurts, had we not grown through those things, we would not have evolved to who we are now. So it matters, and it was important as part of your foundation, but it doesn't have to be the full narrative of your story.
Oh, we need to make that a quote. That's so yes, we need to make that last sentence a quote, because that is absolutely so true. And there are so many people who literally wear what they've experienced. You know what I mean? And it makes me super sad because they don't understand, or there's some people that don't even understand that they've experienced trauma, or even know why they behave the way that they do, or react, or whatever it is. And it's like, it makes me so sad because I used to be in that space, but it wasn't until I made that decision, like, I can't continue like this. Like, I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be angry. I don't want these people to have control over my life. I just want to be free and skip down the block and do a little twerk or something and be happy. Like,
I'm with you, Chanel. I love to dance. I want to be able to do a little dance and not have to try so hard to catch the beat, you know?
So what's next for you?
More healing for myself. I like to interchange healing with the word heart work. You'll always hear, I'm now showcasing myself as Coach Love, the heart work specialist. So you'll always hear me talking about just more healing. Like I said, for myself and just for everyone. I now have, outside of this awesome collaborative project that I'm working on with you and these other phenomenal authors, I now am releasing my own, my very first book by myself, and it's Heart Work, the self-love trifecta. And in that book, we're discussing the 12 benefits of practicing forgiveness, gratitude, and positive affirmations daily. And that's because that's what it takes for us to make it. There's like those three, you know, we all know what the trifecta is. It's just three things that you need to master. And the goal of this journey is to learn to master ourselves fully so that we can be our most authentic self, be exactly who we were divinely designed to be. So there's always going to be more conversation, more advocacy for professional guidance with mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And then just more collaboration, like this opportunity that I have here with you now, and more workshops, more classes, you know, more coaching, and more just sharing, you know, peace, love, and light with the world. I say that everywhere I go, and I say that because I mean it, and because that's what the world needs more of. We need more peace between us, ourselves and each other. We definitely need more love within ourselves so that we can express that with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then just more light, because the world is in such a dark space sometimes, especially right now. So I have to continue to do my work, because that's how I'm able to pour back into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then connecting with wonderful people like you, every time you get to connect to another light that's really, really bright, but a light that realizes that their light's not any dimmer because my light exists, like yourself, that makes it so much more easier to continue to do the work that I do. So,
girl, you just making quotes all day. Did you just hear that last statement she said? Oh my goodness.
This is what's in there. This is what's in my heart all the time. So
yes, I love it. Oh my goodness. I'm like, yes, your light is not dimmer because listen, that is so true. And so many people don't understand that concept.
Right.
And it makes it so difficult with dealing with certain people, because your light bothers them. And it's like, well, I'm not going to turn my light off for you. I'm not even dimming it anymore. I don't know what to tell you. Get sunglasses. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So I think it's so amazing. Do you have any final words for the audience?
Final word is hard work is not optional. It must be done, and it's on the agenda from now on. As long as you're here, hard work is not optional. So get it done, guys, and seek out whatever guidance you need, whether it be through me, listening to Chanel's podcast. Find you some guidance so that you can heal.
Yes, 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 yes. And how can our lovely audience connect with you?
Coach Love is not everywhere, because I don't want to be seen everywhere, but you guys can find me on Instagram. Is my most favorite platform. You can find me there at Keepsake Motivation. All one word. There's no underscores, no spaces in between. And you can also find me on Facebook at Keepsake Motivation. If you'd like to connect, you're welcome to go to keepsakemotivation.com and go to our connect page and send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to share. You're welcome to send me a DM, especially on Instagram. The DM is always open, and I'm always available for people that need it.
Yes. Okay. Well, I thank you so much. I thank you for sharing your story. I thank you for being who you are. I thank you for your transparency. I think that you are a game changer, and I love who you are as a person, because it just shows up with everything that you do and the impact that you're having on our lovely men of the world. Because they need it, they need the same mental health and attention that we get for our success and for us to function on a normal basis. They need the same thing too. So I think your mission is just so powerful, and you already know how I feel about who you are as a person. In every encounter that we've had, she just brightens up the room and brightens up the atmosphere, and it's a light that is necessary in such a dark world that we have. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for being a part of this project. And I know there are continued greatness and great things coming to you and for you. So I wish you nothing but continued success on your entrepreneur journey and for your new book. I'm so excited. I love first time.
Thank you so much, Chanel. You're so wonderful. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much, like I said, for being such a light. And thank you. I can't thank you enough for creating such a phenomenal brand and for being such a phenomenal woman of integrity and great character. So just thank you. I'm just humbled by the fact that I was even asked to participate. So thank you so much. And for anyone that was considering not listening to this podcast, I hope that after you hear all these phenomenal episodes that Chanel is going to share with you, that you're going to become a forever listener, because I know I am, just because I love Chanel and I love everything that she stands for. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, if we were together, I'd give you lots of hugs.
We can do air hugs. We can do air hugs.
Air hugs and like a big heart. I'm making a big heart with my hands and a big heart. So thanks again so much.
So if you have not gotten your copy of The Evolution Effect, you need to do that right now, not tomorrow, like in the second, www.evolutioneffectbook.com. now, make sure you read Lavenia's chapter, because I was in love. I was like, oh my gosh, like just from her story, from where she was to where she is today, it's just like the perfect evolution effect story. And I'm super excited for her. And thank you for all of you for tuning in, and my lovely listening audience. You know, I heart you to death. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye, beautiful people.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Evolve. Stay fearless, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Until next time, special shout out to all of our amazing listeners. You are truly appreciated. Follow our host, Chanel Spencer, at Chanel Spencer Now on Instagram and Facebook. Songs I'm From the South by D21 from Black Mob Entertainment off the 720 God album. Find him on Instagram at only D21.
I'm from the South. I'm from the South.